Okay, so when you have an unconscious casualty, we can see that there's no one around when he was rendered unconscious, but I'm going to do a body assessment, make sure there's no danger to myself, to the casualty, and then to other people. So I can see that there is a power lead in the casualty's hand, which leads me to believe that the casualty has electrocuted himself, which I'm going to remove without touching. Now I'm going to check if there are any other injuries on the head and on other parts of the body, if there's no blood leaking through any of the clothing. And because there's a power lead there, I'm going to assume there's no spinal injuries, which means I can put him into the current position. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to straighten out his legs. I'm going to put this one up. This hand goes across the shoulder. This one goes out. And you grab at the belt loop of the pants and the shoulder of the shirt and pull him over. His head should be resting in his hand so that if he needs to vomit, his hand's on the side, he's not going to choke in his own vomit. The next thing I do is check for response. The first thing I'm going to do is check if he can hear me by saying this: can you hear me? If he doesn't respond, I'm going to assume that he can't hear me. And then I'm going to ask him to open his eyes. If he doesn't open his eyes, I'm going to move to the next stage, which is ask him what his name is. What is your name? If he doesn't reply, I'm going to ask him to squeeze my hand. And if he doesn't squeeze my hand, then I'm going to assume he's fully unconscious. Next thing I'm going to do is send for help. I'm going to do this by saying casualty that I've already written down. Casualty, simcas, simcas, simcas. Casualty request over. 0 Alpha will say send over. Casualty is as follows: Priority 2, Serial Alpha, 1 Sunray. Serial Bravo, Sergeant Hyde's house. Serial Charlie, nil. Serial Delta, 1 casualty, unable to walk. Serial Echo, electrocuted and unconscious. Serial Foxtrot, 1 casualty, priority 2. Serial Golf, stretcher required. Serial Hotel, call sign 1 Sunray. RV Point, Waverton train station. Serial India, nil. Serial Juliet, nil. Serial Kilo, nil. Now I've sent that casualty request in, I'm going to have to check if his airways are clear. You do this by looking into the mouth with a pistol grip around the chin, opening the mouth. If you can't see anything in there, that's a good indication that the airways are clear. If you're still not convinced, you can grab the pinky of the casualty, put it in their own mouth and try to scoop anything out. If you put your own hand in, they might bite down on your hand on reflex and you could lose your finger. Now that I know his airways are clear, I'm going to see if he's breathing. There's 2 ways I can do this. I can watch the rise and fall of his chest, or I can put my ear next to his mouth and nose and hear him breathing. If he's breathing, and I can see that he's breathing, I won't need to check for circulation, but if I do need to, there's a artery on the neck, on the forearm, that I can check to find his pulse. If there's no pulse, I'll continue with CPR, which I'll do for an example. And the way to do that is to find the middle of the chest where the sternum is, put a hand down, lace your fingers with the other hand over top, and then, obviously I'm not going to do this in the example, but you need to put your full force into pushing down to try to get the heart beating. And then you do CPR to the beat of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, because that's the proper BPM for an adult human heart rate. If that doesn't work, and the casualty does not respond to CPR, then you move on to defibrillation at a hospital. And that is how, apart from that, once you've done all those things, you wait for your extraction and the casualty to be taken away. And that is how you treat an unconscious casualty.